Good morning, dopamine crew. Now, I don't know if that's a good name, but you know my slogan is earn your dopamine. So I thought it'd be cool to come up with a name for everyone following along on YouTube here. If you have better names, let me know in the comments. So I'm inviting you along on our morning ruck with a bunch of guys that we go on every Sunday morning when we can. It's been pretty consistent before church. So we head out to the river valley here in my hometown, and it's about a 6K loop that we all just go on a walk together. So I've been in the fitness industry. Well, I've been training myself for hockey as I grew up. Get a little fogged here, a little too foggy. I've been training since I was 14. I grew up playing competitive hockey, and I love the training aspect. All that to say that 21 years in, rucking, which is basically just putting weight on you, whether it's a weight vest or a backpack, is one of the most impactful, beneficial exercises you can do. Studies are now showing. It's less impact on your joints than running. It builds your anaerobic and aerobic capacity, and it builds your ligaments, tendons, muscles, and bones up, which is really important for longevity as you age. So that's what we do once a week. I try to do it maybe twice a week as well. I do it on a couple of Zoom calls with masterminds for business I'm a part of. And yeah, it's one of the most beneficial things I've noticed. So what I really like about it is that you're able to maintain a conversation as you do it. Now, there's a few different things holistically I think have this same kind of benefit. So when I say holistically, I'm talking about mental, physical, spiritual, relational, professional. That would be what I call holistic health and fitness. You can be really fit physically, but be lacking spiritually, be lacking relationally, be lacking professionally, and vice versa. Maybe you have a really successful business, or you're really successful in the work world, but you don't work out. So when I talk about holistic, I'm talking about this kind of flywheel idea that you need to be putting pressure on all 5 aspects of this flywheel. And there are exercises which simultaneously hits multiple aspects. And rucking is one of them, because you're getting that physical, what I call deposit, that investment in your physical bucket. Then you have relational, so you're getting a relational deposit in that bucket if you do it with other people. Mental, you're outside, and physical exercise is also good for your mental. Spiritual, so we talk about God, we talk about life when we do this. You also notice I'm not wearing my teeth today. Let me know in the comments if you want to know the story. And spiritual, relational, professional, physical. So rucking is one of those. And the other one, I think, is the epitome of all maximized holistic deposits, investments you can make into yourself, is sauna. So for my Finnish friends out there, you know that the proper way to say it is actually sauna, not sauna. I'm learning that. And that is honestly one of the most beneficial ones. Really deep conversations happen in there. Physical, mental, spiritual, all that good stuff. So let me know in the comments again what's your favorite holistic deposit investment you make in your life. So you're just driving out here. I'm almost there. It's a nice country. We're not in the mountains or anything, but we have a nice river valley here in my hometown. And I'm going to put a 70-pound weight vest on. And it's taxing on the lungs, but the most taxing part of it is actually the shoulders, the weight of it pulling on your shoulders and the traps. So that has to be the most difficult thing about it. Just passing some people here. It's customary in small towns that you give the wave. Now it's like this wave or this wave. but you have to give that wave. I mean, you don't have to, but it's very polite to do that. So, there you go. Small town wave. But it only happens on the country roads. If you're in town, like a minute from town or 2 minutes from town, you don't have to do it. On the paved roads, as soon as you get in the country, you gotta give the wave. I'm trying to figure out what my wave is. Yeah. Okay, let's get this. Oh boy. I'm a little early. That's okay. Hey everyone, welcome to today's video. I'm going to be taking you on a weighted walk with me and my friends before church. There you go.
I think the worst part of the 60-pound pack for me now is like getting it on. Right. I feel like I'm going to dislocate my shoulder and putting my backpack on.
I cut off the 2 low branches on my spruce tree.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I got my fire table hooked up to.
We had a little propane jobby, which this is always how it goes. But you know, I was a little interested to see how that topic was going to go.
Yeah.
You know, that is intentional, and I just think so often we have this idea of faith as like a consumer, or we just think like, I want to, you know, I want to be filled with these things, I want to be blessed by these things, but at the end of the day, it's all about me. It's all about, you know, like
a transaction?
Yeah, like what can I take? How can I benefit? And a certain amount, it seems to be, yes, God is filling you with these things of purpose, but it's not supposed to stop with us. You know, we are supposed to be these conduits to like the brokenness around us, and I've just been like trying to watch for that with like our teenagers, the youth. Like, is this something that like are they gathering as a consumer just for them to meet their needs, to have a fun night on Friday, or are they starting to shift into the realm at all of I wanna really get this stuff because I want to be impactful in my world. And as you know, as I've been thinking about that a lot with them, you know, obviously it should make me think about myself.
Right.
What are my motives with everything I'm doing? You know, is it about receiving, or is it about being able to, you know, be faithful to the people around us?
Almost like leveling up for the sake of leveling up.
Yeah.
Well, I've been thinking about that too. It's like, I mean, kind of related to that. It's like, you know, when I just look at my life before and after, kind of, and then you think of the, you know, the life of a nominal Christian, or the life of the going through the motion of Christianity. It's like, how do we address that? How do we point that out? And then how do we move on from that? You know, which is kind of what you're saying. It's like, hey, don't come to youth just to go through the motions like that. This actually isn't even helpful, almost in a way. You know, and it is, and I still think it's a good place to be, but it's like, at what point, I don't know, it just, yeah, it's like, it's kind of a weird thing for me to see and know the difference in my own life of where I finally feel like, oh, okay, here it is. I'm just scratching the surface, but how do other Christians get there? You know, it's kind of like, how do we show that, or what does that look like, or you know, to call, I don't know, it's a weird thing because it's not, I don't know. Yeah.
That's tricky because, like, we're supposed to grow in the spirit, and we can benefit and prosper spiritually with these things. But then, at what point does it turn to other people that we're like this should be, you said, a conduit, a catalyst to others becoming closer to Jesus. So if we're growing as a Christian, we're not sharing the gospel actively, then it kind of would be what you're saying, right, Cody? It is more about the self and self-improvement. Or is that what you're saying?
Yeah, and you know, just like I was listening to, this kind of all started when I was David Platt. I was listening to him talk about this, and he was just describing, you know, the very massive difference between teaching people that are there to, you know, are there with a consumeristic mindset versus teaching people to have a very intentional sense of, I need to, like a sense of desperation. Like I really want to grasp this because I'm in a flourishing world that I'm not the only one that needs this. And just living with that little bit of an edge of you know, urgency. And you know, I just think it's a good metric for all of us to just be aware of on some level. Like, am I trying to understand this theological point, or am I trying to axe this bad habit in my life just for me, or is this about being more productive, you know, and being more of a blessing to people around me?
Yeah, because it's supposed to produce fruit. And I think I often think of myself like gentleness, kindness, self-control. But that should be the thing that helps me share the gospel. Not just like becoming a better person. Because again, it's not wrong to, whatever success looks like, it's not wrong to have these things. But as soon as that becomes a way of people looking at you instead of the gospel, then that's really the problem.
I have a friend that often says to me the phrase, we can only give away the things that we have. And so, you know, just if we, you know, if our relationship with God is becoming more authentic, more just foundational to us, I just think we have such a, you know, like we all share the things that we're excited about. And so, you know, if I'm trying to operate out of duty, or like, well, this is what good people do, so I have to do this, instead of operating out of like genuine, like, you know, like authentic excitement, like this is like a beautiful hope that I want to give to the people I care about.
Right.
Just really, yeah. And yeah, like I just feel like I've been in that place multiple times where it's like, oh man, I'm doing this thing because I guess that's what good people do, but I'm feeling really flat. Yeah. And I think that shines through.
Well, it's like when you started way back when you talked about, you know, your definition of success or whatever. It's like, yeah, if that hasn't been built on, or starting to be built on, the joy that we find in Jesus, man, it's just, you know, Because even as we're talking about this, my mind could go like, oh, okay, well, I just gotta start sharing about Jesus.
Right.
And that's not it either, you know? It's like, that is actually the fruit that comes out of it, but it can become so much more of a, oh, it's one more thing. If I do that, then, you know what I mean? And it's so,
Like a checkbox consumer
it's
thing
so-
again.
I mean, that's just where, plain and simply, it's every time we have to bring ourselves back to what Jesus did, because we will screw up something. And I realize that's not what you're saying, but I could just see somebody that hasn't experienced Jesus, you know, that would be, oh, I think what Cody's saying is, you know, if we're doing this, yeah, I don't know, it's a tricky, weird thing.
It really is.
Yeah.
It should be a natural outpouring of who you are, right?
Yeah.
Like the fruit should show. And that's like this whole theme of success and doing things as a byproduct instead of the pursuit of a metric of how you're doing has been coming up a lot lately for me, or just people I'm talking to. So it's pretty interesting.
On a short and just flip. And now you're being shaped and you're being formed completely by this algorithm. And we've been talking about this for a long time, like with our kids, like YouTube is not inherently evil, but you just need to be in charge. Like you need to be actually making choices. And we've just kind of continually set this rule that we've had to readdress many times, because it's like, oh, it's so much easier to just like let YouTube pick the next video.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's been an ongoing conversation in our home. Is just like, you can go on YouTube, but we trust you, but you have to click on the video. Like you have to pick the video. And I know that's harder, but that's the only way you're allowed to use this platform. Yeah.
Yeah, because then it shapes the algorithm too.
Totally.
What you click on next will promote the next video.
Totally.
So the more you do that, the more it pushes you in one direction.
Yeah. But they're just like, oh, but then I gotta search up this, you know, this influencer's handle, and then I gotta figure out what it's just like I'll just
4 clicks.
How crazy is that to think about? Like, I gotta click more.
Yeah.
It's like when your tap doesn't work and you're just like, oh, seriously? I'm gonna put my card in. Just like,
Put my card in, then press the numbers.
yeah. I wasted 30 seconds of my life.
That's good for the algorithm, dogs.
No.
That's all you need to do. There's dogs out there making millions of dollars.
That's why every guy's dating profile is somebody else's dog that he's holding.
Because you've done the work. Where I've just become persuaded and I'm more comfortable, and I feel like even through my own experience.
Well, everyone, thank you so much for coming on my Sunday morning ruck with my friends before church. I don't know if I got it all. I tried to get there's some really good conversations today. Just the difficulties of being a young man in our society today. And are we trying to become better people because we're just trying to level up, or are we actually sharing the gospel and becoming more Christ-like? And are we conduits coming to know Jesus? And then a long conversation about God's sovereignty and our free will and the balance between those two things. But I want to encourage you, whether it's a walk like this, whether it's coffee in the morning, whatever it is, we are made for relationship. We're made for community, over activities, and being surrounded by people. I think a lot of us become isolated behind our computer screens or our phones and blinded of the pursuit of success for more accumulation of things in this world, hoping they'll give us more meaning, fulfillment, and happiness. But in reality, that can only be found in Jesus, a relationship, and in people. Relationships matter, and when we create idols out of these things of God's creation, not a lot of good things happen in terms of accumulating or successes. And again, I say this a lot, but Not that that is wrong to have those things. And when we isolate ourselves and we pursue, and that causes us to become very individualistic, we're thinking we're making ourselves happy by gaining all these things that the world is telling us, this will make you happy if you have $1 million. This will make you happy if you have this car. This will make you happy if you have a girlfriend, a boyfriend, a family, go on all these adventures. But you won't be able to find true fulfillment and happiness in anything other than Jesus. And you'll begin to isolate yourself from community with others and a deep relationship with Jesus if you continue to pursue and believe that the pursuit of happiness will actually make you happy. It will not. You'll be left feeling empty and alone. If you found this beneficial, there'll be more videos after this. And I invite you to subscribe. Appreciate you all. Until next time, earn your dopamine.